Today, I'll show you how to connect a database to your project in Cursor, from choosing the right database all the way to running your app successfully. First, you'll want to decide which database you're going to use. The three common options here are MySQL, PostgreSQL, and MongoDB. If you're working with structured data and want strong reliability and SQL support, PostgreSQL or MySQL are great choices. PostgreSQL is often preferred for more advanced features, while MySQL is very popular and widely supported. If your data is more flexible or you like working with JSON-style documents, MongoDB might be the better fit. For this walkthrough, the process is similar no matter which one you choose, but the example code we'll look at will use PostgreSQL. Once you've chosen your database, the next step is to gather your database credentials. These are the details that your application will need in order to connect. Typically, you'll have a host, which is the address of your database server, and a port, which is the specific entry point on that server, like 5432 for PostgreSQL or 3306 for MySQL by default. You'll also need a username and password, which identify and secure your connection, and finally the database name, which tells your app exactly which database to talk to on that server. It's important to keep these values safe and never hard code real secrets into code that might be shared publicly. Now, open your project in Cursor, make sure you have your Node.js project set up and your package JSON file ready, because we're going to install the appropriate database package next. Inside Cursor, open a terminal in the root of your project. This is where you'll run the installation commands. The package you install depends on the database you selected. If you're using PostgreSQL, run the command npm install pg. This pulls in the popular PG library, which provides the client class we'll use to connect. If you've chosen MySQL, run npm install MySQL2. That package gives you modern MySQL support with promise-based APIs. And if you're working with MongoDB, you'll install npm install Mongoose, which is a powerful object data modeling library on top of MongoDB. Let the install finish before moving on. Next, you'll add a connection file to your project. This is where your app will actually know how to reach the database. Create a new file in your project, for example, something like db.js or database.js. We'll walk through an example using PostgreSQL, but the idea is similar for other databases. In this file, import the PG package and then extract the client from it. Then you'll create a new client instance and pass in an object with your connection details. That object should include the host, user, password, database, and port. For example, host might be your database server address, user is the username you were given, password is the corresponding password, database is the name of the database you want to use, and port is usually 5432 for PostgreSQL. In real projects, you'll want to load these values from environment variables instead of typing them directly in the file. After you configure the client, call the connect method and await it to establish the connection. It's a good idea to handle errors here, so you can see if something like a wrong password or incorrect host is causing problems. Once your connection file is in place and exported, you can import this client into the rest of your application wherever you need to run queries. With that done, you're ready for the final step: run your app. In the Cursor terminal, start your application the way you normally do, for example with npm run dev or node index.js. When the app starts, it should establish a connection to your database using the credentials and setup you just created. If everything is configured correctly, your app will now be connected to your chosen database and ready to store and retrieve data